Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome to GameCast's 1001 Games You've Got to Play Before You Die series. With me, your host, Mr. North. Today I'm playing Galaga, a sequel to the 1979 arcade shooter Galaxian. Galaga is, after Space Invaders itself, perhaps the most popular Space Invader-like from the 80s arcade era of video games. It's a short 1001 today, as our arcade nostalgia flashback has less meat than a more modern game, but look, don't let the length fool you. This game has some serious replay value. Galaga is a story-light endeavour where players take control of a spaceship scrolling from side to side, attempting to shoot down hostile enemy aliens that gradually progress towards them, although perhaps less gradually than Space Invaders itself. It has a great deal more flair than the slow, methodical plotting of the Space Invaders earlier series, with enemies often arriving from each side of the screen, flying in whilst executing graceful and deadly dive bomb attacks against the player. Galaga's objective is simple: destroy the enemies, rack up points and break down the hardier boss foes. The various enemies demonstrate early adoption of enemy-specific abilities, as many of the foes that the player encounters are able to do things that other enemies cannot, attacking in different sweeping attacks as they break formation in unique ways. Perhaps most threateningly of all, this can even involve the hardier boss opponents stealing the player's own lives and utilising them against them as defensive shields. Being an arcade release, Galaga existed long before what we modern gamers would recognise as a modern community, but it certainly has had its own legacy. From inspiring clones and offshoot games, to featuring briefly in Marvel's 2012 Avengers film, Galaga has had so many sequels, re-releases and ports that it would probably take me an entire video just to list them all. It's one of those rare games that pervades popular culture, being a name that people outside the gaming community knows, even if it is less known than its space-invading uncle. Nowadays you can easily and surely find a way to play Galaga or its ilk that is convenient for you, so if you've got a few minutes to spare, I urge you to give this old timer a go. Nostalgia aside, it's definitely still fun. Alright, I'm actually doing a voiceover of a recording of myself playing this game, because of all the games I've played for this series so far, I found Galaga to be by far the most stressful to try and talk whilst I'm playing. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, but this was taking all my focus, trying to line up those shots to get them as they're coming in, and trying to work out which ones I find most deadly. Like, those bumblebee ones, dead. You see the little swoop they do on the left? That little bumblebee swoop is just terrible. Bumblebee? Wasp? I don't know. Apply your own country's annoying insect here. But yeah, they're really annoying. They can come up right behind you when you think they're off screen. They're actually slightly behind the screen. And then they just swoop in and blow you up without even seeing them. So even when they're off screen, you have to really expect that they're coming back. You can't go anywhere near where they went off screen. But this is my run at my high score, which is currently sitting at 20,860. I have no context for whether that's a good high score or not. I grew up on arcades. I grew up playing arcade games, but this was a little before my time. So I was growing up playing things like the earliest House of the Dead and Time Crisis games in the arcade. Galaga, I think there were variations of this around the arcade that I was growing up around, but it was further along Galaga at this point, and I don't think I ever played it all that much. I was more into the light gun games, I gotta say. Light guns and steering wheel games. But I reckon I would have had a lot of fun had I sat down and actually played one of these games, because I had a lot of fun sitting down to play this. And I wasn't expecting it to. There's this horrible... I don't know whether it's like a modern elitism or something that I've got, but I feel like... I always feel like I'm not going to have as much fun when I sit down and play an old game, but it's not true at all. As soon as you sit down and play an old game, there's maybe like a little adjustment period if it's got some horrible PlayStation 1 blocky graphics or something, but a game like this is timeless. Oh, there we go. I finally bit it. A game like this is timeless. It's still fun just because it was well designed. It didn't take much to be fun. and it's still fun to play today. And just think, there are all those tiny little, like, graphically terrible web games out there that you can, oh god, twice in a row, like, well, I'm not gonna, like, take a life without dying and then suddenly go back to dying. It would always be twice in a row. They're little weird, like, what are they, like lobster aliens there? I don't know what they are. Those boss ones can actually, the purple ones, they go purple after, or they could be blue, colorblind here. Those purple ones change color after you've shot them, because they can take 2 hits. They can actually tractor beam in your lives and steal your lives. The little red ones though, they sometimes flit off at odd directions, like they try to there, like you can, oh I thought he was going to do it then, he didn't, and it can really catch you by surprise. That wasp bee, bumblebee thing almost did the same to me there. But yeah, you can play like web games that go on, oh hey, I beat the high score, I was so busy rambling on I didn't notice. Yeah, we're into the new high score, I knew I beat it. There we go, lost my penultimate life again. But yeah, I knew I beat it, but I missed the point I actually beat it. But there, that's what I was talking about, the tractor beam. If he catches you in that, you'll lose your life. And if it's your last life, you can't even do anything to stop it. There's some dodgy dodging there. Very almost got sideswiped by the bee. But you can play web games that have like absolutely no graphical quality and they're still fun as fuck. So, just like the most fun in the world. So, a game like Galaga, which just pioneered some of these really simple, like, shooting, I don't know if it pioneered this mechanic exactly, because obviously, there we go, last life, damn. But 24,860, I don't know if that's a good score. My 48.2 hit-miss ratio could probably have been a lot better. I do like to spam the button. I don't know if that's a good score. If you are a Galaga veteran, definitely leave it in the comments. Tell me if that is a good score or not. But for me, I was quite proud of that. It took me more than 2 tries to get on the leaderboard twice, let me assure you. But yeah, this game is a lot of fun still. You can probably find it easily. Give it a go.